Oh. No?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure everybody was still there. Yeah. It was a quiet moment.
Very quiet.
I still feel like I got a flashlight shooting up my nostrils.
Uh,
And the funny
Make
part is
noise.
the light's coming down. Okay. So where are we getting this reflection from?
I got something for you.
Uh-oh.
And for me.
Oh, yeah?
And for Pairanormal.
That's
Ready?
right. We didn't really do anything last week for it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, just hang on 1 second.
Okay. 1. Time's up.
Oh. I'm trying to figure out how to do this nicely.
Yeah.
So we lost Miss Renee.
We did. Oh, there she is. She's back.
Is she back?
She's back. Yeah.
I'm back.
So happy birthday, EW.
Oh, happy birthday, Miss Annie.
And happy birthday, Pairanormal.
Yeah, can you believe 13 years?
Yep, I'm blowing up. Make a wish. I'm blowing up the candle. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
There we go. Yay. Yeah, 13 years now. We have been on the air. That's hard to believe that
That's
many
great.
years. Hard to believe. Wow.
Congratulations.
13's a good number. It's my favorite number.
Yeah, I do remember you saying that. Yeah, I do remember 13 is one of your favorite numbers. I guess the only one I have is 8. I don't know why. I just like 8. 8's a great number. Is it a winning lottery number? Probably not. Because if it was, I'd be rich. So, yeah. But we are back. This is week 2 woohoo, of us being back for a new season of Pairanormal. And if you haven't noticed, this face down here, yeah, it's it doesn't move. It's not interactive like these faces, But that is our wonderful host tonight. For those who don't know, she is a medium. She does Reiki. I know I'm going to slaughter this one. Reiki?
Yes.
Okay. She does Reiki. She's the host of Angelic Comfort and an expert in TVC. What? Yes.
And one of my favorite people on the planet.
Thank you.
I have to say one of them because I think she said that about Greg last week.
Well, I have a female and I have a male. So
there you go.
What about ZZ?
I like ZZ.
See? So there we go.
I didn't say I didn't like ZZ.
Anyway.
He's adorable.
Yeah. So let us welcome Miss Renee.
Thank you very much. Hello, guys.
As my cat sneezes over here.
It's all good.
Bless you. Okay. Yeah. So We have Mr. Jimmy in the chat room too. Woohoo!
Hey,
Way
Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
to go. And we are so happy to have him. Oh,
Ew, what? Hi, Jimmy, darling.
Carolyn.
Jimmy, darling.
she's
I'm
lucky,
speaking to the living.
right?
There you go.
She's
Well, we
lucky.
go back 20 years or more.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, yeah, 20 plus.
Wow.
Definitely. At least 30, right?
Well, no. Let's see. When did we start going there? 97, 98, something like
Oh, okay.
Goodness.
Yeah, HH chat. Haunted house. AOL.
Nice.
Yep.
Wow. Impressive. Impressive. Oh, and now he says for you, Renee.
Jimmy.
So
So,
tonight we're actually going to have a interesting show. Um, where we could be talking about birthdays and all that fun stuff, we had decided to throw something else together. Something that has two sides to it. One that could be good and or bad. Mhm. And the other, well, I would have to say is all good because I've never okay, wait, I can't say that.
go ahead, say it.
Well, no, I was going to say angels are all good, but then again, what we know is demons are actual fallen angels. So, I guess that could be the same as the other side, as the other one, which is it has a good and a bad side too. So, when we get to the that one, I'm going to be the science side because
But,
I
it's like with anything. Life is about balance, right? So
yeah.
everything is about balance. You can't have it one way all the time, which would be nice, but it would be boring, right?
Well, exactly. And that's the thing about paranormal. We've always been a show of skeptic versus believer because, it is that fine line between the two. That you've got the people who believe and then you got the people who are skeptics. And what I love about the skeptics is they always say, "Well, I won't believe it until I see it." And then when they see it, the first words out of their mouth is, "I see it, but I don't believe it." So, yeah.
Well, with a lot of these things on TV, the haunted, like a haunting or something,
Mm-hmm.
they always make the wife's or girlfriend sound like she's a nutball because all this stuff is happening. But yeah, once it happens to them, yep, they scream like a little girl.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. And I mean, I've seen multiple cases where we get the people who come in and have, "Oh, I'm not scared of nothing," and then they get touched and they're screaming down the hallway. It's like, ah, look like. Remember how the Muppets used to move, where you'd see their
Yeah.
head move back and their arms? That's what you're seeing these people do. Yeah, and I'm not knocking anyone. There are people who show a side of bravery until they're in a dark room and
That's me.
yeah, well, and then
Don't
they
put me in any dark places. Then no, I got a fear of the dark.
then you hear a noise that you say, it sounds like a disembodied voice. Roger. Oh,
We did an investigation one time. It was a public investigation, and there was this guy who's like 6'3", 6'4", and I was in one part with the public, and we were videotaping and talking about these. It was in part of the Auburn prison at one time, the building we were investigating, and so they're near this in this back room where there's a lot of activity and stuff, and here's this guy, "I'm not afraid, blah 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 blah," and all of a sudden he's screaming, running through the basement, and my one girlfriend was sitting on the stairs, and she's like 4 foot tall, I kid you not, he leapt over her, running up the stairs screaming, which got her screaming, and she went running up the stairs after him. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? I mean, it, because in most things, it's like, most people can hold it together
Right.
and they're really good, but this guy like totally freaked out and like ran. He leaped right over her, running up the stairs. He like literally leaped over her, and I was like, okay, that's kind of funny, but then again, really, I mean, because it's nothing's gonna harm you, right? I mean, as long as you are in control, and you are always in control, you should
Yeah.
be when you go on an investigation, right?
Right.
Should be. Yeah.
But yeah, he ran up the stairs. He was screaming, and I was like, I was like, oh my god, and it triggered her, and she's never freaked out on any investigations, but I guess just
Mm.
him jumping over her head
That
That would
was
be
yeah,
enough.
hilarious.
that's freaky enough.
It was enough to do it, but yeah.
So I
Yeah.
have a question for the two of y'all. Are you ready?
Okay.
How come monsters don't eat ghosts?
Is this one of those bad dad jokes?
I don't know. I'm just
I,
asking.
I have no clue.
Because they taste like sheet?
Oh, geez. Wah.
It's like why don't cannibals eat clowns? Because they taste funny.
Uh-huh.
Oh, boy.
Hey, it's that time of the year
Oh, I
where
know.
you can use it, Jimmy. You can use that one. But no, really, it is that time of the year where everybody wants something that's going to scare them. Whether it's going to a convention, which, by the way, I believe somebody around here has a convention they're going to next week. Am I right?
Jimmy?
Yeah. So, for all you guys tuning in now or even in the rerun, you might want to check out where Jimmy is going, what convention you can go to catch him at. Uh, October 29th, he's giving it to me, and I'm telling you as it comes up. Um, and, aha, aha, Mohegan. Mohegan Sun? Okay. I don't know how to say that, but I do know November 12th and 13th he will be at Salem Paracon. Um,
Oh, what fun.
Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut on the 29th. Gotcha. That's a little bit better. Yeah, you guys should know better than to try to give me words that I don't know how to say. Um, I will slaughter them. All right. So before we get into tonight, Mohegan.
Yeah,
Ah,
Mohican. Is it
Mohegan.
Mohican?
Mohegan.
Yeah, Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut. Are you going, Miss Annie?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm in Maryland. He's in Connecticut.
It's a short drive.
I wish.
It's a short flight. He says for you to come and see him.
Well, I'd hop on a plane. I wouldn't trust my sweet little car because I never know when she's going to start or not.
Oh. Yeah, he says if you start walking now,
Okay.
you will make it.
See you later, EW. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
right. I don't know if I'd walk in the dark, to be honest, nowadays with the stuff that happens. Because you get those moments of, the stranger. Do you need a ride? Nope.
Oh, no. Years ago, I would have to get off the bus and walk about 1.5 miles to our apartment. This is my ex when I was married way back in the 80s. And I'd have to go past Gardens of Faith Cemetery. Walk past it it's on the side of the road where my in-laws were buried. Well, was. They still are, I guess. And
I was gonna say,
I am not kidding. There was these big black dogs sitting there on the edge. Now, this place does not have a fence around it. It does not have a fence, and they're just sitting there looking at me.
walking by, what's up? Mm.
Yeah, these big black dogs. Man, I tore ass out of there so fast.
Um,
That was scary.
I bet. I
All I
bet.
could think of was the Omen.
Ooh, yeah, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, tonight's topic, the first portion of it, will be really simple. Angels. Good and bad, right?
there's
I think,
good and bad.
yeah, but I think everybody has a different image of what they think an angel is,
Right.
right?
Yes.
How would you describe an angel, Annie?
I never really gave it much thought. But I know, like as a child, you see the white flowing robes with the halo and the wings. I guess I don't see that. I think they would appear as a person. Nothing like that are on Christmas cards or whatever.
Right.
But I think instead of like actually seeing it, you'd see a person, but you would feel it on the inside, knowing that that's what they are.
Okay. I think that's a good view. What about you, Miss Renee?
Well, it's really interesting because angels will appear to you in a way that you can relate. So it would be in human form if you were to see them. Okay. They're beings of light, but also they look nothing human. um, they, your gargoyles on like your churches and stuff like that are
Mm-hmm.
actually, those that are the seraphims. And,
Ah, yeah.
they guard the throne of God, right? And they're closest to God. So they look pretty much like creatures. So one of the things too that I tell people that I contemplate is, is it possible that they're aliens? Think so? I
I,
don't
I
know.
well,
I never
okay.
gave it
So,
a thought.
well,
But
let
well, let me finish first though,
okay.
because I had to throw that out there before I forgot. But anyway, and they appear to us to be female, more feminine, carrying because they carry the masculine and the divine feminine, like all of us. But if they were to appear as male, they would appear as not being as comforting. So a lot of times, the majority of them are male, but they appear as female because people find comfort in that.
Hmm.
So their facial features and stuff are more feminine when there's really only a handful of female. And as far as the hierarchy goes, when you go up the hierarchy or the
Right.
choir of angels. So your guardian angels and stuff like that. They're both, but as you go
Well,
up the choir of angels, there a majority of them are male.
right. Because I mean, when we talk about the most common angels anybody knows, they right off the way mentions most of the guard or the archangels, like
Correct.
Michael, Raphael, Gabriel. I can go on, but I mean that's just like the three most common names anyone would mention right away.
Correct.
Um, and yes, they are biblical too.
Yes.
Um, but you mentioned one in also, which was the seraphim.
Hmm.
The seraphim is actually written in the Bible once, It's for those who are keeping track of it, it's Isaiah 6:3, where it says that that particular angel worshiped the Lord over and over by saying, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory." So again, depending on how people look at it, if they want to look at it, because commonly when I hear people compare angels, Renee, I hear them say things like good versus evil. So there's the good angels, and then
Hmm.
there's the demons, the bad. So the angels fight the demons type thing. So I could use both ways for that, so people could understand both ways. But what about if someone has a personal experience with an angel?
Elaborate on that a little.
Okay. Well, I've had a couple of them. The first one that I can think of off the top of my head, and I don't remember the people, but I remember a lady who was carrying her baby boy, and she tripped over this. I don't even know what this is. It's not rebar, but it's this hard metal like that comes up and it kind of almost wise a little bit.
Right.
And she tripped on that, and of course the baby, boom, head first into the uh, sidewalk. But the lady was a little hefty, and these two guys, which even know where they appeared from, quite interesting, Aman. Okay, thank you. Um, anyway, they came out and they instantly picked her up like she was nothing. Just one guy picked her up, the other one picked up the baby boy, and okay, um, and they took him, took him to the car and then to the hospital. Which, when we turn around to thank these gentlemen for the help, they're no longer there.
Hmm.
You
That
know,
does happen more often than people realize, and they can manifest, right? They can manifest into physical beings if the time is needed, right? If they're needed.
right?
So it does happen more often than people realize, and that's what you definitely call divine intervention, right?
Yeah, that would be
Well,
a form of
when
divine intervention. Yes.
I think I said this before, when my grandmother was alive, she was sick and she was in a nursing home, and I think they had the flu running rampant through the nursing home and stuff. And the nurse went and like in the middle of the night checked on her to see how she was, and she said she was fine. She said, "Did you see him?" And my being dementia or whatever, my the nurse thought maybe it was my uncle or something. She said, "No, no, no, it was an angel." And when she came back around again, Grandma had died.
Mm. It's it is possible. And I use that to a mild degree, because commonly the situations where I've been around people who have passed, they refer to seeing a loved one, not an angel. But
Yeah.
I have heard stories of angels being there to take them home, is what, like, a couple of them have reported saying, "There's an angel here, says it's time for me to go." And as soon as they finish that saying, they lay their head back and that's it. They're done.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that would be Azrael.
Right. Honestly, I would never complain about something like that.
I wouldn't either. That actually, because it was upsetting to me, but I was comforted at the same time, knowing, hey, she's in good hands.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something we want for ourselves. A lot of people think that it's a manifestation of the brain. Here comes the science part, Renee. Um, it's a manifestation of the brain because it's the way we want to feel comfortable. That's what some science sites refer to as this.
Hmm.
Others refer to it as being a uh, well, phenomenon would probably be the easier word to say, because it's, well, as we said, where did these people appear from? Well, it's a divine intervention, and some people might not agree with that, but I think it is. I sat back and I was consoling someone over the weekend, and the crazy part about it is I was able to sit back and name 3 times I'm supposed to have been dead. Literally. By all accounts, I should not be sitting here. I should have been dead. And the thing is that, at least in 2 of the situations, I can tell you I know for a fact an angel was there. That's the crazy part about it all. Because
Hmm.
I did see the angel at one point, which everybody's going to say, well, you were a high on drugs. I probably was, but I clearly saw this individual. you
Well, no
know,
doubt, no doubt. The easiest way for people to see angels, and everybody can see them really, um, but not in the way that we expect them to be, right? Because
right,
I
right.
told you they're beings of light and energy and all that. Is if you go in your room at night, and every night when I go to bed, I call them in and I thank them for my blessings and everything else, and then I ask for them to appear. And what's really cool is that it's like little sparkles of light, different colors
It's funny,
in my
still.
room at
So
night at dark. It's dark and you can see them and that's them.
yeah,
Um, and it's a beautiful, beautiful sight, really, because it's just like all these little sparkles just all over. And sometimes they say it's like the 4th of July, and you can see them. So if you want to see them, just go to bed, turn off your lights, and thank them, call them in, tell them you love them unconditionally, thank them for loving you unconditionally and for helping you out daily. Just whatever it is you want to say to them, and ask them to appear,
yeah. Well,
and you'll see their lights.
my wife says she sees it even in the daytime. Those little sparkles that you talk
Huh,
about.
yes.
Yeah. So, it's hard. These are going to be situations where, if you go the science side, you're going to have a lot of different explanations. If you go the believer side, you're going to have the one explanation. If you go the skeptic side, there's one explanation also. You're crazy.
Well, and that's the whole thing, right? So what we need to remember is that a lot of this is our thought process and how we were brought up and what we were told is in the physical form of belief, the physical world, not
Hmm.
in our soul world. So when we take a look at us and say we're just souls in a physical body, our souls come and go all the time. They come and go. They project around the world. They go to different loved ones. We at night we astral project to the other side. We see our loved ones. We just don't always remember. We see friends. We see uh, souls from past lives. I mean, we do so many things, right?
Yeah.
So when we take a look at this and say, really, anything's possible, when people say no, that's the physical world belief, right? That's being in the physical world of how is this possible? How can these things happen? But as we look at this as we are also beings of light and with souls, we can do what spirits can do.
Well, see, you mentioned one thing that is real of it all is that people tend to look only at the physical.
Correct.
They see the physical, they believe in the physical, but when you turn around and make it more or less,
I
then
love it when
people
he does that.
then people can't understand the concept. They don't see, well, wait a second, unless they know like this kind of trick. But when it comes to a spiritual sense, they don't understand because it's not physical.
Right.
And that's where we see a lot of arguments between spirits, angels, whatever. I mean, we go that whole route. But I want to take one example for you. This is from I have it minimized. Hold on. From a Facebook or a YouTube page, sorry, called Americana. Now, of course, they do spell it weird, but I want you to see what they get for an angel sighting, believe it or not, which is kind of cool because it makes you wonder, is this really it? Now, this is the moment where Jimmy's also going to regret switching over to his phone to listen because now he won't get to see what's happening.
Shows a newscaster finishing a report from what looks to be a peaceful bit of woodland. But just then, the cameraman notices something very, very unusual happening behind her. As he begins to pan the camera over, we get our first glimpse at this mysterious glowing light, which could be any number of things. Is this a UFO, a spirit, a ghost, or could it be an angel? Given its peaceful nature, it could be just about anything, though the seemingly ethereal nature of it leads us to believe it's an angel. After all, angels are just keeping an eye on you, like a peaceful big brother type deal. Interestingly, angels are one of the few spiritual beings that are seldom captured on live television. We've seen UFOs and ghosts time after time, but no angels. Where's Jerry Springer when you need him? Number 9.
Okay, I have to admit that one was kind of funny. Where's Jerry Springer when you need him?
Yeah, right.
But okay, so an unexplained light. Now this kind of leads us into Renee's next part. And we will give a link to that video down at the bottom after we're done. But the interesting part about this in this particular case is she moved. I gotta take a drink. Oh,
I'm sorry. I tried to pull a thing, but it made me even higher. So
anyway, so in this particular case, they're saying it's unexplained light phenomenon where one of the situations I've seen something similar was an orb where it literally floated right in front of us. We could see it physically. It was caught on camera. It was pictures were taken of it. We're just like, oh. I mean, I wish you could take a picture of our faces at that moment because it would be this giant, like that emoji. Anyway, but yeah. So when someone passes away, we've heard in near-death experiences that most people look for the light. They're to go to the light.
if you say Carol Ann, go to the light, I'm clicking on.
Well, actually, Annie, after what Renee's going to tell you, you might be a little more shocked because now you might not want to go to the light. So, Miss Renee, I give you the floor.
Thank you. I've studied this for many years, and through speaking with people who have had near-death experiences, even with my mom passing, I have gone. She's brought me places on the other side that I never ever thought that I would experience in the living world. Right? It's amazing, but also talking to many spirits, and then I go back and I listen to different EVPs of sessions I've done of when I would follow the crowd and pass souls into the white light, and the conversations and what was being said prior to them going into it. And a lot of them had a fear. Why
Right.
would these spirits have a fear about jumping into the white light? Why? I mean,
The unknown?
no, because everything's beautiful. You get over there and you already know. So when somebody passes on and their soul transitions, right? They transition. We they already know. They have the understanding, okay? They're greeted. They go to wherever it is that they believe from when they were in the physical world. Okay. So heaven is what you perceive it to be,
Hmm.
and that's where you're going to be. So here's another thing too. So, and I'll get to that in a minute. But when they transition on and they go to heaven, they ascend, and seventh heaven, seventh dimension, they go to heaven. But they're not locked in heaven. St. Peter isn't there locking the gate and saying, you can't leave. So they come and they go, right? I mean, just like our spirits, our souls can ascend and go to the different dimensions, they can too, right? They're not held in one area in a holding tank, right?
Can you tell
So
mine, can you tell mine to bring back a better body?
yeah, I know. I feel the same way about mine too. So um but anyway, so for a couple of years I was like, okay, you gotta go to the white light, gotta go to the white light. And as I'm doing this and I'm recording this and I'm listening to these EVP sessions and stuff, and they're like, no, we don't want to. No, we're not going to go. And I'd be like, well, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? Well, when we pass on, there's different steps that we take to, process our life here. And then we plan our life, our next life, if we're going to reincarnate and everything else. There's no such thing as time on the other side. So they have this whole thing that they do. They're like zoom, 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 zoom. Everything is so fast. They process this life. They see everything that they've done. They see their whole life in like a holographic type display. They see what they've done to other people, how they've made them feel, and then they're put in that other person's position of how that person felt with the thing that they've done to them. So there's like this understanding, there's this processing, there's this detoxification of this life that they had just lived.
Mhm.
And then they plan their life out, but there's other things they teach, they help, they serve, there's many things that they do, and they have a good time. And love in all forms is there. I mean, it's just amazing. So the thing is I would keep on hearing, no, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go to the white light. I don't want to go to the white light. But everybody is on this thing of passing them into the white light. Now you talk to anybody who's had a near-death experience, they're not allowed to go into the white light. And you don't see anybody going into the white light. Why not? Because the white light and the fear that these spirits have of somebody literally passing them into the white light is their reincarnation. It is their reincarnation. That's why they have a fear of going into the white light. They're not ready. So they're
Now
being
explain.
forced to go into this white light to start a new life. And if we think about it, and we think about the people who are like, I shouldn't be here, I don't feel like I belong in this body, the increase of mental illness, all of this different stuff is because we have people who are on the bandwagon that feel everybody's got to be passed in the white light. And they are seriously not ready to go because they're being put into a body for a life they have no clue of what they're going into.
Right. I need to go back on a question here because, or on a point here because I know there's going to be a lot of people who see it in two different forms. When you say the reincarnation, are we talking like how the Buddhist or Hindu believe that you could possibly come back as a cow?
Well, it's whatever your belief is, yes.
Okay. I mean, because there's a lot of people who don't believe in reincarnation. That's why the reason I'm asking too.
Correct.
So you kind of get the cross between the two.
Correct.
Right. And so,
So
not trying to be disrespectful.
no, 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 no. I totally get it. There's so many different beliefs, Edub, but we have to understand is that I mean, there are those that are that are lost, or maybe they had a tragic sudden death, unexpected
Right.
stuff like that. instead of trying to pass everybody in the white light and think you're doing a good thing, you're not doing a good thing at all. You're not. You need to tell them to go with their loved ones, that their loved ones are there and they need to go with their loved ones. Their
Yeah.
loved ones will take them to where they need to be. Now, in other investigations we've done, and you hear the EVP sessions, and you ask them, where are you? And they'll say, I don't know. Some will say, I don't know. Okay. You don't know. What's it like? It's cold and it's dark. Does it mean that that spirit's lost? No, it doesn't mean that they're lost at all. Because again, I said, heaven or what you believe in this lifetime is where you end up. And a lot of times, heaven is just the universe. The universe.
Well, I think that also is a belief thing, and the reason I say that, not again, not trying to make an argument, but I know, like you mentioned, the seventh heaven. The first three are literally what we can see. The first one is the plane that we're on now, which is
Right.
Earth. The next would be the clouds, and then the third being a little bit farther out. Um, so physically there are heavenly planes, as we know, but is see when you say cold, dark area, the first thing comes to my mind is like some kind of dungeon or something. So, I would think they're being
Well,
tortured.
and I can understand that, but like I said, cold and dark. And I told you, people are going to go. Heaven is going to be what they perceive it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So some people don't even believe in heaven.
Right.
Right. So, but the universe is our gateway, right? It is our. It's there. Everything, our life forms, our energy. It's all out there. So these people, these spirits that are saying that it's cold, it's dark. It's not that they're trapped in a coffin. They
Right.
they're literally. I mean, they're literally in the universe,
Yeah, but
and
they could
and
be
it
stuck in.
isn't warm,
Sorry.
and it isn't warm. Just like heaven isn't warm. It's not warm up there. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
we're beings of light at that point.
Well, we're in a spiritual sense, and
Yeah.
that's where we know for a fact that these things are real. This really happens, but some
I know
people.
it's hard to it's hard to comprehend sometimes, DW. I mean, I get it, but you have to picture all these different people with all these different religious beliefs and some without even religious beliefs, and
Mhm.
when you go out there and you get these EVP sessions going, and even burst sessions, you ask them, and some will tell you it's cold and it's dark,
Right.
and so it's all different. It doesn't mean that they're, I've never spoken to a spirit that was trapped in hell, but I mean, as far as anything else, it's all free flowing. You can go anywhere and be anywhere you want to be.
Right. Um. Hmm.
I don't know, Jimmy, are you listening?
I think.
And I'm sure you've gotten some EVPs in regard to some of this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know, but I'm just taking a wild shot here. Have you ever had any spirits or EVP sessions where they've told you it's dark and it's cold? I don't know. And we think about it, their energy when they come and they approach us, in the physical world. Like my mother came to me and it was like ice cold. You want that ice cold feeling. Because if it's a hot feeling that you're being embraced in, that's not what you want. It's not supposed to be hot and warm. It's supposed to be cold. The spirits
Right.
are cold. The energy is cold to where
Yeah.
you can shiver. So it's just different things to think about. So basically, the white light would be entering into a new lifetime, a new life experience in the
Right.
physical world. So that's why we don't want to pass spirits into the white light, because we are sending them somewhere they're not ready to go.
Yeah.
So you
In
send them with their loved ones. And like I said, they're not stuck here. They're not stuck. They're not stuck here. They can choose to be here or they can choose not to be. They can come and go. There is nobody holding them with guns or armor or anything and saying, you cannot leave. We know better than that. We know better than that. So a lot of these writings and a lot of these books are so outdated. Like the veil, they say the veil's thinning, the veil's thinning, the veil's thinning. The veil's been thinning for thousands of years now. Come on, people. The veil's gone because they coexist with us. It's
Mhm.
parallel. There's no veil there. It's, like special needs people and children, they float both sides. You know what I mean? At all times.
You're not going to pull a Pennywise on me and start saying they all float down here.
No.
Okay, okay. I just want to make sure.
So
Um,
we need to get out of this textbook thinking and this textbook following the crowd and doing what everybody else is doing, because then we are not excuse me, opening ourselves up to research completely and stuff. And that's the problem, is everybody goes by textbooks and then they join the bandwagon. Like Reiki right now, everybody's doing Reiki because everybody thinks they can get money from Reiki and they think they're doing this good thing. So now you have a market that's saturated with Reiki, practitioners and Reiki masters, and and everybody's wanting to cross people over into the white light. So that's the thing to do. That's the thing to do. And we feel good about it when we're really messing these spirits up and we're
well,
messing up people.
I
So
mean,
that's why I say, go to your loved ones. They're right there. Go with your loved ones. They'll take you where you need to go.
right. Well, if they're Reiki masters, they couldn't come Reiki my yard.
They can
Because,
come Reiki. It's so bad. Again, another bad dad joke. Wah, wah, wah,
all right,
wah.
so let me use the science side for a second. Okay. In near death experiences, we've talked about this in past shows where doctors have heard about the white light that the people see when they talk about everything fading away, that their body's going away. And what some have concluded is it's like our brains that give off an illusion of a light. And as the brain begins to die, the light begins to fade.
Uh-huh.
Now, while I have to laugh a little bit on that, on the psychology side of it, it sounds fantastic. But then doctors have been baffled by mysteries of where, like the one guy who had a third of his brain, oh no, a quarter of his brain removed, and they told the family he's not going to remember you guys. As far as we know, this is the area where all those memories are. After a matter of, I don't even know how long it was, but after a matter of time, the man had every single memory back, and the doctors are like, that's not supposed to happen, but it did.
Mhm.
So are we, I mean, do we go and say, well, okay, science isn't right because they can't even figure out how a brain works or something? I wouldn't go that route. What I would say is, as we learn, like within the spiritual realms and stuff, it's still an area that is being investigated and explored. Like much like the TVC, the trans vibrational communication.
Transcendent vibrational communication.
I have never gotten that right yet.
It's all good.
And I'm surprised you come back because it's like he can't even get that right. What? No. Um, it's something that I know you guys are still working on it. So one of these days, I'm just going to break down and I'm going to make you all sit down in one room and we're going to go over it.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I want to share it. I want people to know, oh my God, here is real evidence.
Yeah.
Now, the question that I would ask you is I know you have the evidence and I know about it. does that mean that it's real, or could people still say come up with some other possibility?
In regard to the TVC project,
Yeah,
um, you know, it's real. I'm hundreds of miles away from these people. It's not only audio recorded on digital recorders, but it's also being videoed at the same time. So, I mean, it's very real. And then you'll have people in the paranormal that would say, well, it's a spirit copying your voice and saying exactly what you're saying or thinking to project to come over the equipment. And then there's other people who are just simply not going to believe it. But, we're all different. We're all supposed to be different. And, it's hard when we can't comprehend something, when we cannot physically, in the physical world, comprehend something, then we limit ourselves in what we're able to learn,
right, right.
right? So, looking at it from a spiritual end, paranormal end, it it's very possible.
What do you think, Annie?
I'm just taking this all in.
I know but I wanted to know what you think about all of this.
We're all going to go there someday. And the older I'm getting, the more I realize that some days sooner than, when I was in my 20s or whatever.
Right.
And in a way, I'm scared because, you don't want to leave your loved ones behind.
True.
That's the hard part. That's the human
That's
part
the
of
human
it.
part.
That's
Yeah.
hard.
Then I wonder, like when you said that you see your loved ones, do you really know? I mean, like, should I die and then Tom dies? Well, I know it's my husband.
Well, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the most recent one that I experienced, of course, being a minister, I've been at quite a few of them, which is really difficult. So you have to really be able to take in a lot of things. Once you see so much death, it kind of tears at you emotionally. But in this particular one, I recall the individual stating that they could see their uh, father, actually, I think it was their father, standing there. And they recognized him right away. They knew it was their father. They said, my
Yeah.
dad right there.
They're
And
gonna appear. They're gonna appear in the way that you know them.
mm-hmm.
The way that you would remember them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I do have like a lot of dreams about my parents. My mom, and she's always younger.
Mm-hmm.
She's basically like in her 40s.
Yep. Everybody says they go to like 21 in their 20s, but what I found is they go to the happiest time of their physical life, right?
Yeah.
Of what they were in that
Well,
lifetime.
yeah, that's just like, okay, when you have a loved one that passes and the dream, what I call the dream, and you dream about them and they talk to you. And I remember, like, well, when I dream like my dad, we're always going shopping. That night, always going shopping. But when I went and I had the dream about my mom, she was very young.
Yep.
She was like in her 20s, like 19, 20,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And actually, I woke up and I was crying because it was a while before, after she passed, that I had the dream. And I was wondering if she was okay. I know that it sounds kind of dumb, but it's just like actually after that I was very calm because I know
Mm-hmm.
she's okay. But I'm just afraid that, and I guess it's my human side, that I will not know my parents. Should Tom pass or something, I won't know him. I guess that the human part wants to hold on to the worldly stuff,
Right. Correct.
the stuff that
And it's
makes
very hard, children and your loved ones and your friends and
yeah
because you in the physical world you're like, well, I see them again. Well, they're going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's going to be painful and I don't want to leave them yet. And I still want to be with them. And, that is the human side of it. And that's normal. So when somebody's ready to go and, they're seeing their loved ones on the other side that have already transitioned, and they know they're going to be okay. And
excuse me.
they're being reassured that everything's going to be okay and that they can still be a part of their lives. They're just not physically a part of their lives anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Well,
guess it's just like the Rainbow Bridge too.
Right.
You get to see your pets and
It's all
whatever's passed before you.
right. But let me tell you, I have seen my mother and she has taken me places that I couldn't even imagine. And she's so happy. Like, it's so good to see her, like, not being in pain, like all those years of being in pain and
Yeah.
all these medical issues and, and then towards the end being so fragile the last few years of her life, and still her trying to be active and productive in life, while she's going through this the last few years of her life. And to see her all healthy and in her mini skirts and, just really like dancing and having a good time with all these people and just like amazing. Like, the first birthday I had without her here. Oh my God, I was the night before my birthday, I cried. I cried and I cried and I cried. And I'm like, I'm not going to have that phone call or that text message or, get that birthday card. And, with her writing and, just talking to her. And I went to bed that night and I cried. And then I had that lucid dream. And all of a sudden, I was in my aunt's house. I was in my pajamas. And around the table in front of me was my mother, my grandparents, aunts and uncles, friends that had passed. They were all there singing happy birthday to me. And there is this lopsided cake that my grandmother had made with the pudding on top and a big candle on the top, and they were all laughing. And it had the chocolate chips on it because there were times she just didn't have everything to make it, and she was so busy that she'd make that lopsided cake and throw pudding on top and chocolate chips and the big tapered candle in the center, and we'd all laugh so hard. So it became a tradition, and there it was in front of me that I woke up crying and happy that they literally threw me a birthday party on the other side. I mean, here was this tiny house that was just packed, jam full, and they were
yeah,
all singing happy birthday and laughing and talking to me and and mom saying, see, I didn't miss it, Renee. I'm here. Happy birthday, honey. I love you. It just, it was amazing.
yeah. I have to do this before we go out because, well, Renee, I couldn't help it when I saw this headline.
Okay.
And so, for those who remembered Dangerous Minds, this
Oh,
one,
Jesus.
no, it's not. No, it's not going to be like that. This is an actual headline, mind you. It was just put out a few days ago. So here it is. It says Google. Now this is the full article, so we could go through it. But it says Google released exclusive chips with the taste of Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro.
Yum.
Yeah. How do we know?
That's a crisp chip.
Right. I mean, how are we going to know what this tastes like? Are we going to go into the stores and say, I don't want that phone. Get another one. I like that one. This is where mere words are.
Yeah, exactly right.
But here's the funny part. This is the box for it.
Oh God.
Now, if you look
Right.
closely, the nice little strip on the top of the box, like all that, it's there on their phone. But
Right.
actual chips.
Nice.
Now, I want to know who's going to be crazy enough to want to taste their phone to see if it tastes like chips.
Oh yeah, no.
They better put a disclaimer on that thing, the way people are nowadays.
Yeah, it really should be a disclaimer. Well, I mean, it's not the only headline we've seen out there that's bad, right, Renee?
Oh yeah, we've seen many through the years, EW.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
But it was hilarious. I saw that one today, and I had to throw that in. So
That's funny. You know what? I have a Google 6 Pro, the Pixel Pro.
does it taste like chips?
It does not taste like chips because I don't chew on it, but I really like this phone. Out of all the phones I've had, I like this one the best. And they screen calls that are not in my phone book.
Yeah, I get that too. That's I
No
think
app, no nothing. They screen them for me. If like all these political things, I don't even see them. If they come in text or if it's spam or whatever, boom, automatically in a spam message folder. I go in, I delete them. They're already blocked. They block them automatically. And
That's
in the
nice.
phone calls, they're the same thing. And they'll mark it as spam, but they have Google Assist goes and says the person you're trying to reach, who are you trying to reach, and give a brief thing of what you're trying to reach them for, and they'll automatically block spam. Boom. If you call me on a restricted number, guess what? It shows your number.
I like that.
I like
Right?
that too. I wish my home, the landline, would do that.
So if the 7 is anything like the 6 Pro, I say go for it.
But don't taste it, please.
Don't taste it.
Do not eat your phone.
Do not eat your phone. But I'll tell you, I love it. I absolutely love it.
We've talked in the past about certain warning signs or warning labels. I think that's what it was on products. So I don't know if that one's going to be on this product, but I hope in the world they do.
Yeah, you're going to have people literally trying to eat them, right?
Yeah, and sue them.
One
What, you know.
person. Coffee is hot. People, coffee is hot.
Yes, exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head out of here. Don't forget to follow Miss Renee on her YouTube page where you can check out Angelic Comfort at any time. All the
My website is a good place too, is www.angelic-comfort.com.
I forgot about
You can find it me on Renee Marie, Psychic Medium on Facebook. Barefoot Dragonfly on Instagram, Barefoot Dragonfly on Twitter. So yeah,
we're gonna have to do an investigation on why barefoot dragonfly.
I just love that. I just love dragonflies and barefoot. I don't know, just free. Dragonflies don't wear shoes. Come on, let's be real.
Yeah, well, do you go barefoot in the snow?
There's been a few times I've run out in the snow barefoot.
Yeah,
I never have shoes on.
Then she's running back in. Oh, it's cold.
It's cold. Yeah.
Yep.
Just to step outside, like not in the after I've shoveled and there's still like hard packed snow. I've done it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done it. When you live up north, that's what you do, right? I mean, you just.
Yep. That's exactly it. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys. Thank you, Miss Renee.
Thank you for having me. I love you guys.
Birthday.
YouTube, Annie, yours
I
is
will.
on Monday, if I recall, right?
Yours is Monday and EW's is what, Sunday?
Yeah,
Sunday.
we're a day apart.
Yep,
Oh,
We're
cool.
twins almost.
and that's it. I'm saying.
There you go.
All right, and you guys make sure you tune in if you're watching us via YouTube. You can easily just subscribe and hit that nice little bell button. This way, you know when we're coming back live. We do try to do that every Friday when we're doing our seasons at 8 Central, 9 Pacific, 9 Eastern.
Right.
My brain's not working on the
Yeah.
locations. So, yeah. And we will see you guys next Friday.
Yeah, and that's going to be near what, Halloween?
Yep.
Yeah, Halloween show.
Yeah. Believe it or not, Halloween falls on a Monday.
Yep.
So, all right, guys. Good night.
Good night.